Hello, and welcome to the Computer Literacy Center's online instructional videos. My name is Sergey Amadov, and today we'll be learning about enhancing workbooks in Microsoft Excel. Using tools we've discussed previously will help your Excel spreadsheets stand out, but today we'll be covering some tools that can help you use some of Excel's more powerful features. Along with making spreadsheets easier to understand, Excel can be used to analyze large amounts of data and present it using a few simple steps. In this video, we'll be covering some tools to further enhance your workbook. We'll learn how to display formulas, create a column chart, move that column chart to a new sheet, and take a brief look at the if function. Let's get started. If you'd like to follow along and completed the Excel formatting module, go ahead and open the file that we created in that module. If you'd like to follow along and haven't completed the Excel formatting module, find the start file bundled with this module. Remember, save it under your own name and save often. While working through a spreadsheet, it can be easy to get lost and lose track of what the spreadsheet is doing. Instead of manually clicking each cell to see what it is calculating, you can simply display all of the formulas to view them all at a glance. To activate this feature, hold down the Control button and press the tilde key, which is to the left of the 1 key and above the Tab key. As you can see, instead of having number outputs, each cell with a formula is converted to showing the formulas acting within the cell and not the output. Now, we can take a look at our spreadsheet and see which formulas we used and where. To disable this view, simply use the same steps. Hold down the Control key and press the tilde key again. To make an even more visually interesting spreadsheet, we can insert a column chart. This will help us compare values quickly, making it easier to understand trends in the data. To start, we will want to select the data that we want in our chart. For our example, we want to compare our monthly income for the year. We'll select all of the data we want included in our chart, in our case, A4 to M6. Make sure you don't select any of the totals, as they will throw off the graph. Once we have our data selected, we can navigate to the Insert tab. From there, we look over in the Charts group and open the Columns drop-down menu. For our spreadsheet, we will want to use the clustered column. When we select the graph we want, Excel will insert a graph with our data. We can then add a title and format other things in the graph. From here, we can see that Excel has opened the Design and Format tabs under the Chart Tools tab group. In these tabs, we can change the look and style of our charts, fonts, and colors. If you feel so inclined, experiment with these options and find one that looks good and fits the style of your document. Let's say that we still want to keep this chart, but we actually needed it on another sheet. This could be useful if you are creating separate reports but want to use data between them without having to enter it again. First, select the graph that you want to move, and then navigate to the Chart Design tab. Under the Location group, there is an option titled Move Chart. Selecting this will open a dialog box where we can choose what we want to do with it. We can either create a new sheet with the graph that we have selected, or we can insert it to another sheet as an object. Since we don't have multiple sheets, we'll select the New Sheet option and title it Income. If you had multiple sheets and wanted to move it to one of them, you would select that option and then select the sheet you wanted to move it to in the drop-down box. Hitting OK, Excel will move the graph to another sheet and show us the result. Since we made a new sheet, the graph is the only thing on it. From here, we can then edit and move the graph to suit our needs. Since this is good for us, we can head back to our budget sheet. Now that we've made our budget easy to read and understand, let's make Excel do a few more calculations to see if we can take our vacation. First, we need to find how much money that we will have left over if we decide to take the vacation. To do this, we will want to find the difference in our total income and our total expenses. In cell N26, I'll start with the equal sign. Then select N7, our total income. Then I'll insert a minus sign and select N24, our total expenses. Hitting Enter, or the green check mark, Excel will calculate the difference for us. Now that we have our difference, we need to compare it to the money we expect to spend on our vacation. Instead of doing the calculation manually, we can use the if function. To start, select cell C28 right next to the question we want to know the answer to. Can I afford to go on this vacation? Start with an equal sign, and then type in if. Then a parenthesis. Excel will show us how it wants the data in this small information box. We first need to create a logical test. A logical test is basically taking two numbers and asking Excel whether one is greater than, less than, or equal to another. For our case, we want to know if our difference is greater than the money we want to spend on vacation. To do this, we'll start by selecting our difference in N26. Then, we'll insert a greater sign found on the same key as the period. We then want to select the total amount of money we expect to spend on vacation, which in this case is cell B33. If we were to read this function the way it is now, it would say, if the value in cell N26 is greater than the value in cell B33, then. This is because we haven't told it what to do after comparing the values. Placing a comma in the equation will tell Excel we're done with our logical test. We now want to enter what we want Excel to say if the test is true, or if our difference is greater than the money we expect to spend. Since we want it to tell us if we can, we'll enter the word yes in quotation marks. We want to use quotation marks because it's text, and Excel will think we're giving it a number otherwise. We then want to enter another comma and tell Excel what to say if we can't go on our vacation. Enter the word no in quotation marks. If we were to read the equation now, it would say, if the value in cell N26 is greater than the value in cell B33, then type the word yes. Otherwise, type the word no. When we press Enter or execute the formula, Excel can then tell us if we can go on vacation. If yours says no, change some of the numbers, either increasing your income or decreasing your expenses, because everyone deserves a vacation. Using more advanced tools in Excel can create more interesting and informative spreadsheets. During our lesson, we covered how to display formulas, making it easy to see what Excel is doing. We also covered some chart tools, which can help demonstrate trends that might be hard to see in a grid of numbers. Finally, we touched on the if function, one of Excel's analysis tools. Excel is a fantastic spreadsheet creator, and using these tools, you're well on your way to creating easy-to-use and appealing reports.